like to take this opportunity to talk about a few awards coming up. To Stack's Bowers Galleries for Best U.S. Auction Catalog of the Year, and the absolutely amazing work that Dave Bowers has done as a researcher, as a cataloger, and probably as the most famous numismatist of all time. Dave, why don't you tell us a little bit about what's involved in cataloging and what goes into your award-winning catalogs, and why they're such a great success.
Don't believe half of that.
Believe all of it.
Grossly exaggerated. Also, when you talk about cataloging, although I've done my share of writing, and when I write a book, I usually write 99% of it. But when it comes to the Stack Bowers Galleries catalog, I'm a member of the dream team, and it could be that the book is written by the main thing is done by Beacon Yagparian, or maybe Peter Treglia, or maybe John Pack as a lead cataloger, Jeff Ambio. So that we have a team of probably 10 good catalogers that could probably catalog almost everything, so I'm happy to be part of the team. Also, my own knowledge, I could probably stand up and talk on British coins here, maybe German thalers, quite possibly completely United States, but if you ask me about Arabic coins or Chinese coins, I couldn't really say much. So my knowledge is limited, but one nice thing about that, and it's true of numismatics, there's always more to learn. Right now I'm spending some time learning about a Mormon token, and I've spent quite a bit of time in this. I'm also writing a book on the World's Columbian Exposition as involved with numismatics. So my first coin was a very rare worn 1893 Columbian half dollar when I was a kid. And my great-grandmother was an exhibitor, an award winner at the Columbian Exposition as an artist. She exhibited 5 paintings and won an award for one. I have in my own home a number of musical things that were exhibited at the exposition and won awards. So I'm sort of tied into this. I'm going to I'm doing a book on this. But at any given time, I have a lot of things going on. I love research, and I've been very, very, very privileged. I think right now, I started out in 1952. In 1953, I started keeping notes and index cards of people. I had dinner with B. Mac Mel, for example, and started asking him questions. I've said this in print before, but and I had a whole list of questions. I read all his catalogs, and I said, why didn't you write your biography? He said, no, why don't you write it for me? You know more than I do about me. But I didn't do that. But I'm not writing an article on a biography of B. Mac Mel. Maybe Pete Smith will do that or something. But there are any number of projects. There's no project. We're not running out of things to do. One of the greatest. There are many great numismatists of the 19th century that we know very, very little about. Jeremiah Colburn was one of the first numismatists. He wrote in 1857-58 in the Boston Evening Transcript, which I haven't read, all about coins. I have not read this, but I think he's the one that dreamed up names like Silly Head Cent and everything. And I'm trying to find out more. But anyway, life is an ongoing thing. I'm very, very lucky to have been in coins. If I had been in wholesale bananas or something, I just wouldn't have fun. But I not only like coins, I like coin people.
And you like books also, and many of your books have won NLG Book of the Year awards. So why don't you share with us the importance to you of authoring books and authoring NLG Book of the Year award books?
Well, I don't deliberately author them, but...
we thought you did, based on how many we've given
Hey,
you.
Matt, why don't you bring up my latest book, the color cover. I don't know if this is going to be an NLG. No, please. I have type A personalities down there. Just bring it. I want to wave a book that just came in about an hour ago. It's about the Central America. The first one won an award, and this one may or may not. Could be bumped out by a book on Nova Scotia or something. But this is the Central America, and the second book just came in an hour ago. The first book The first book was over 1,000 pages. It sold for $99. If you want to buy one on the used book market, it sells for like $150 or $200. It sells for more. And then I looked up the history of American Numismatics before the Civil War, which I think sold for like $29. So quite a few of the books sell at a premium, which is sort of nice, because usually if you go and buy a book at the bookstore, it's not worth much the next day. But as far as the Book of the Year award, there are many other, I joined many other people at Book of the Year awards, but I'm very honored to have received the ones that I do receive, or have received, and was very happy to assist with John Vanruther. John Vanruther's book is probably unmatched by anything I've ever done. If I had anything close, it was probably my first book on Central America. One of the books, probably before the NLG was invented, was the history of American numismatics. It's illustrated by the Johns Hopkins collection, which this is sort of anecdotal, but Johns Hopkins University, I did this for them when we had the Garrett collection, and the Johns Hopkins University Press, I met with them, and they publish a lot of books, and I said, well, I think this probably wouldn't be a very good seller, but we would print 1,000, and it would probably take 10 years to get rid of them all. And I said, well, how about if we printed it ourselves? This is our company. But we put Johns Hopkins University on the front page. Oh, you can do that. That's one less thing we have to do. So we put out an advance announcement that we had a print run of like 4,000 or 5,000. We had a pre-publication offer. Before we got our first copy, we sold out. Today, there are 15,000 copies in print, and the ANA, Ed Rochette, said that this particular book probably brought several thousand people into coins and to the ANA. My first book, Coins and Collectors, also has brought thousands of people into numismatics. The challenge we all have now, the NLG people and everybody else, is not necessarily whether we have enough books, because if you read Asylum every week, there are 3 new books every week, or sometimes 7. But it's the fact of getting people to stay in coins. The millennial, no one goes. Few people go bowling anymore, for example. Well, young kids don't go home and they can't find an SVDB and change, and they are busy with their computers and so forth. So the challenge we have is to tell people how exciting coins are. Read one of Doug Winter's books on Carson City coins or something, or buy a Carson City silver dollar for $200 and read about Carson City. And once you learn about, once you take a coin is worth 1 point, its history is worth 1 point, but if you put 2 together, you get 3 points. And there's something beyond, like I collect Vermont coppers. I don't really care whether one is VF30 or VF40. And I don't really care what the price of gold is. So if you just look at coins as being an adventure, being interested in coins is like being interested in crossword puzzles or being interested in the history of Revolutionary War. You stay for a long time. Ken Brissett in the audience, sitting next to Chris Carson, he started when he was a kid, but I knew Ken when I was a little kid. And Ken is still here now, and if you ask Ken if he likes coins, oh yeah, I love coins. And the reason he loves coins, I don't think he's ever been particularly interested in what, say, in the price of gold or whatever, or whether his particular coin is pine tree. His favorite coin is the large planted pine tree shilling. No, he won. That's my favorite coin too, and that was also Louis Eliasberg's favorite coin. But he doesn't really care whether it's AU50, EF45, or MS62, and I don't care about mine. So the thing to do, the challenge for all of us, and we are the Literary Guild, is to have people read books, read periodicals, read Mark Ferguson's new thing he's putting out, read Coin World, read Numismatic News. The Numismatist is better than it's ever been.
Although Barb Gregory is going to retire, Barb, we thank you for your many years of service. Please stand up and be recognized. A warm round of applause for Barb Gregory, longtime editor of the American Numismatic Association. Association's award-winning publication, the Numismatics. Thank you so much for everything you do for us.
Thank you, P.T. Barnum. All this is all this is unrehearsed, and we haven't given Barbara an exit permit, so we might not let
She's
her.
not exiting here anytime soon. We're going to be here until 1:30.
But we might not let her exit the ANA. We might just, whatever, kidnap her. This is a this room is a gathering of eagles, and I think we're all proud to be part of what we're here. And whatever. Is there any more I'm supposed to do?
Yeah, you can have a seat, and we're going to formally present you with your awards in just a couple of minutes. We just have one or two people coming up that we're going to honor.